All right, guys. So today is October 18th. It's been almost more than 2 weeks because of our class meeting on Friday since we met last time. So hopefully you guys didn't forget everything that we did and you guys actually did something over the break. Make sure you guys submit work to Brightspace, right? Uh, Not all work has been submitted there when I check for those things. If you're having trouble with V-Ray, then we'll address those issues. But I put a folder for today's date, right? Make sure that you put there whatever is your latest rendering, right, to Brightspace. And I'm going to start to, give like weekly grades on these things, Brightspace account, but everything. And again, these it's yes or no, right? So get for this, and suggest to not to. Eventually, they'll get detailed the renderings. If you guys are doing the work steps, right, and you follow through the assignment. So easy assignment 5 renderings. So we finished off on materials of their model, right? So some sample, this marble. Today we're going to be looking at advanced material. For that, 3 students that probably count, right? So computer here, the credentials, everything. So nothing. If you, when you go here to the render, make sure that you see 6, right? And afterwards, V-Ray, right? My details. If this. Yes, here. Yes. So you go here, you go to V-Ray here. Yes. So easy. Yeah. So this morning. So when this settings, sorry, go to not settings. Yes, settings, first tab, and go to chaos license. So click on this. It's gonna and just save it, and afterwards close, open it again, and
My settings are
what you.
settings like the blank.
Yes. So Elijah. Yes. Yes. So yeah. So which happened to be here to settings. Oh, that's never ever. Panel that's never been. All right. So V-Ray, GI. This could be like something blocking the page. All right. Yeah. And same thing with you. So something. So which you click here, it doesn't go here. Out of more like IT stuff. The computer is blocking that. You, that is you. It's the same thing. You just don't see it. Okay. I'm gonna talk a bit more, but go fast, and in your case, I've been seen before. Blank over here. And here, do you have this 2.1? Which shouldn't be here. So you can, just give me 1 second. Let me just see here. That's weird. Yeah. Oh, be very close to the map, then install it again. Yeah. Uninstall. Alright. Yeah. No. Account that I gave you. Exact same account in the Dropbox folder. It'll be the same user for the entire class. This is also the same user array, whether it's right or any issues from last array. Awfully quiet, yes. Mohammed?
Did you get the frame?
No, issue I think with 20. Yeah, so things I've discovered that going. So for now, yes, and it should be a plugin that works to address that. All right, so really very early stage of the class for quite a bit of. So we're still basics of, and in our lab, that was our first taking this and starting to add materials, right? We did concrete. Wood is how we can apply it to different, whether it's the top, to try to get something. We also class besides applying the texture. Yeah, what's important? Modify, yes. Yes, map scale. Use UVW map. So UVW max dev object. So it knows how to, again, it has plain circle, cube, and it might not be what you have, but what is the shape, right? Map scalar, pretty much. It roughly, you can find to get some basic material. Basic thing here. Things are pretty clear for you guys? Yeah? Okay. Jump in today into materials in bumps, right? Rhino. So you take renderings, and
If you have it, I would say yes. Let's say to get this.
so yes, the bumps. If you're doing, let's say a brick wall, I'm not gonna waste time putting it. Why? Because it's way you're not gonna see it, right? There's two bumps, right? We map, right? They create a bump, right? Map, which displays the ticket pop, in, or we can actually model the actual shading every brick, because that will take is good, right? If you want. So we're gonna cover ways that we can address. Look at the level of by action to the materials. Things appear glossy, and I think we might as well get to mid class. So here, right, with a bump, right, my whatever materials. I have these things over here, right? So a bump. What does it? How does it know? Bumpy or less bumpy or. So typically black and white image. When I get the download them, so this file here. Here, so this is the basics, and it's already pretty. It's a seam. What is seamless? I keep going here. You want everything to be on materials. A big discussion on this last. This being as, why do I want everything that I used to be as seamless? Tapping is taking this little and just keep next to each other. These lines over here to match, right? A much nicer. This one also came, right? Same material, right? Black and white, right? And darker, lighter. The from black to white. Say white, what? Typically, anything black pushed inward. All these cavities. In gray, it's just 2 layers. So there's a lot of white and all different. This is gonna be moving in. If this thing was, then just simple happen here. But because Photoshop can well on this computer, I can experiment with this. So I'm going to, and let's make a box over here. That material. What is this? Accept. All right, so I think, so set up, here we go. So here we go, drop it here. Select it, apply our 2 modifiers. We're gonna go to U modifier list, box, map scalar. Get some scale here. If I'm losing any, set up a camera here, so we a few renderings here. My box over here. So I'm this camera over here. To follow me after the break, you guys can work it on and give you guys any feedback. For now, try to follow in the. Alright, so let's get very close. We can see here. The sun is in the right. You want to be able to see more variation in the other side. Casting a shadow behind here. So let's a little closer. All right, we'll take a reference here. All right. Time, so something is different here. This computer was just, so who knows? Okay. Everything is good. 500, and let's render it. This second, so it should be a lot. But let's do a base image, so we're not again every lower than last. Base image here. So let's criticize them. How does it look? Here's any shadows, right? If there should be a shadow right there, right? Warnings. I don't know what that is. Lighting elements are not supported. That's not correct. That sounds working. So I'm gonna just delete it and put a new sun. That typically will fix V-Ray and the. So override the current in the scan and just move it up. Right, and works. Yep, that works. See, much brighter space. And quite often in 3D, no matter what you do to fix it, delete it and start. All right, so there's the sound. We have some there. I can't move this thing here. Sound here, it will look more. It was very 3-dimensional. It didn't look this bright. It's bright because it's a. So now we try realistic by trying here and the bumps that there's to do here. The first one is a map. Second one is a diffuse map, and the actual blocks and 3D. Most basic way, and it's the most to save memory. It's more of a solution, and it could up to a 1/4 inch. Anything more than that is in your image. Let's go here. So to add a bump material. So you guys. So let's go to click here, or you get on the keyboard material right here, down, right? Good. And let's see here. We have diffuse, right? Go here to no map. Easy. Just take this one here and inside here again, and add the new location here. So let's black and white image over here. Right. So if by default it's a default setting for bump, how it should be applied. If you look Can you guys see to this? I'm going here and just turn it. That should be now no bump, and now that should be, again, it's fairly minimal. So let's now take the form and region. So the region, my red box over here. And all right, do you see? Some in this case you don't. Now it's 30, 300. Here a lot better now. You see the difference? All these things, cavities, little move, and it should shadow. Enough to make a difference. Higher. Yeah, higher, but it's really gonna push the break. It's limited to just of the different tones, base and black. You know, like here is very, or same thing over here. To the actual material, you might have colors here, like here, gray, darker gray, and create little in the actual. All right, does that make sense? All right, so the way that we can achieve this, doing a display. So if you go back here, the maps here, and we have this displacement will the material, extrude it. Very careful because to 100. Let's take this one here and drop. I'm going to now leave only displacement. All the default settings are render. So fairly strange. Right. Look like not much, right? So this kind of right too much, right? So being 100 is here and just move it down 5. This might work a little better. Is the edge distorted because they making a cavity, you know, like here, right? These I just can do a big difference. Let's try 15. When is this good to use? Surface that is what? Typically, when you turn the corner, it kind of breaks out the material, but we can see a little bit, you know, more. But is it worth doing this or do? Say. I mean, the one with bump, right? To increase the rendering time, is that going to increase because it's actually modifying? It will dramatically increase. Don't apply it to massive wall because, right? That are close to the camera, right? Where you, this happened to me before. You hit red, it will crash, right? Data to try to configure for this. Detail, model this wall in 3D, and then you get the actual of the space here. Right. We can also use within the program here. So very simple. Again, let's go here to material. Let's take do a simple one here. So let's go here, get material. This one. Let's just call it tile. Drop it here. And yes. So this one here, right here. So sometimes you have material and add, let's say, get into a tile or so. If let's say this would be just simply, but let's go here and go to. Sorry, we have all these things default settings. There should be one here. We have texture. No, we can try later. Try. The general. It's kind of general settings. So you see in white images, pattern, tiles, material, right? And here to the actual material. Look at the advanced control. Set up the in this case we can 5, right? One we can do 5. Another one here. The size. In case the 5 we can make it 0.1. Make a very slight gap, right? Pin here, right? Own texture, right? So no matter what you have to, very simple. And once it's here, it here, but tile and those details. So this one's pretty useful for some tiles, and you don't really being and something like that already created lines here, right? Align perfectly, right? And you might not find out that you want to use, right? So more freedom to, and again, you can bumps. And let's try something else here. Let's bump, and we can try also here. Creates a distortion towards to create water. Because water also is made deforming the surface, so this should give the surface you don't see any more detail. We'll go into that into more afterwards. So again, this is more into the idea of, right? You can custom bump, right? Any image, right? To Photoshop, right? White, and then contrast and the levels raise, right? To, of course, it's just nothing here, right? Everything, right? You guys here, things, right? Once you start working, you might, but you have to really experiment every, every. All right, so yeah. So what happened to today's class? Didn't come back from break. We're missing half the yeah. Any questions? Okay. Yes. You missed the whole again, yes. I saw screen and then afterwards, yes. Kind of going back to the beginning of the lecture, bumps are found pretty in the same place that you find here. So it'll be here. So here it's just like a bump material, intensity of the bump, right? Make it here 300 more to make it sort of the surface here. Detail, but again, this distortion on the surface. Always scale the bumps to make, and those things here. You can barely see them because too big. But once I'll go into more detail this step here. All right, so bumps you can use bumps quite a bit, they're close to the camera, right? The way it really makes no difference. Making for yourself extra that could take an extra hour in the quality. Right? So let me delete this. Let's make a new jump into stage of and that is glossy, right? It looks fairly, it's lacking real materials, right? See, right? Super glossy. It could be matte finish. Let's just make a shape. See glossy. And let's I'm gonna see paint. Black is it shows for the sphere. Drop it. Our base show. Let's render here. Okay, let me just full render, view, and render. All right, so how can we use in what projects it details? Really, things look realistic as things reflecting, right? Every cabinet is the floor, right? And also that reflect the lighting quality, because light in something versus something that is now this painted black, right? Or reflection, right? So how does it look? Boring, right? Look as realistic, right? Flat, right? Because nothing. Let's just make. So we're gonna cover all. We have the basic parameter. We have this panel over here, second panel here, here. Each one detailed to our model. The basic one here that we use is simply so, right? We can make this sphere black. We can make. Now let's make it just black. Now let's here, right? And we don't need to use every here, right? And Fresno. Those are the use always here. Controls the reflection scale, right? And this scale works better. Black, no reflection. What do you think happens when I go to gray? Watch over here. Also, do you see the difference, right? And let me do okay. If you're dealing with reflection, to turn background here, because right now give us much detail here. So go here in background. And now it turns on a pattern, so we can see intensity of the reflection. If I go here to here, and here to white, you can see the quality. This is a light source, all the environment, and these close this and this sphere. So again, car paint, counters, right? Plastics, anything with a high. All right, so how does it look? Yes. Exactly. Yeah. So it's the reflection, the sky, the part of it is almost like about the environment. You see here the sun, right? Little dot over here, right? This dot is the sun. Right? So the quality of the material, small, right? Which is very smooth. That's the surface. It starts to become bigger. Here, what does that surface? Light reacting to that. Perfectly smooth, super glossy. The sun looks like a little dot. When the surface starts to be, meaning maybe a little bit sandy to the sun or the light. This is here. Surface is not perfect. More, it starts to matte, right? So, and that is the second. So, really smooth surface. 0.9, and let's look at just this over here. See a little difference in. This is a little bigger, right? Look at everything here. It's not a 4, right? Going down here, let's say. Also, look what, right? Bumpy surface. So now if we. So at this point, we're 7, right? So this surface is not glossy. Barely see any kind of an edge. Maybe some blue color, and lower to this. I wouldn't 7 at this point. Going to start to increase rendering times, because the more light goes here versus distorted, the more it's going to be, right? To bounce, the more, right? the light hits and bounces. No distortion. There's no. So here again, once you go past 3, there's nothing to see there anymore. So it just shows hotspot over here. No, it's all gone, right? You know. Again, with this, there's no perfect setting. 9.5 point, whatever you feel is for you, So I want you guys to create a series. We're gonna have samples here. We're doing here. So let's set up a series of that we can test options here in the space here. So we're gonna make one be set and matte. And I'm gonna do all these spheres here because with also things here. Take this one out and let's copy. I'm gonna put them right in front of. At this point, they're all this kind of glossy. Let's make it a little small. A little better here. Again, you can set up multiple cameras, but let's start something. Our shot. Over here, the first one here is right. This again, copy it again here. We're gonna. What am I going to modify? The what? So right now, I just make it have middle here, less glossy, and I'm going to also start this the material. So 9, and then this one here. Copy it again. Let's see. Affect too much, but so let's try point. Can you see here how dot here changing, right? A little. So now with this one here. And to see. Okay. And the main thing here is on right, little dots, a little bigger, right? See, everything here that should be a little bit, and then eventually we barely see anything here. Everything else is gone. So it gives you this, right? Any color you want.
She's still coming. Cindy.
Mark it down. Yeah. Yes. All right. So it's just part. Again, this could be applied material, right? So this blue marble over here. We can even make this floor. What do we need next? So we're looking at the same. I'm gonna. That we're gonna look at is something, right? Could be chrome, right? Could be aluminum, whatever you want. The same, right? And I'm gonna start with pretty much. How does the So chrome reflects everything. So go to make this one a little bit. All right. So the first setting here reflect color, right? Of quant black being to white anything between here. One, glossiness, the surface, see or more matte. Third one here called when this is an or glossy surface. If you want to work like then this. So I'm gonna would change back to the reflection. Let's leave it now. Make it black. Now the base color reflection is black. Watch what happens when I start. That's fine. Here to white. If I make this reflective, the black one, pink, it could be green. It's still going to look like something is right of itself. It just so in this this gray. This one here, because we have on go from black to here, it just becomes patterny. So for metallics, even though the base one really intense, it will lose the actual environment. So it acts in the same. So this could be chrome material and apply it here. Metallic, yeah. Again, this, in architecture, right? Tables, chairs, other stuff here. So what if I want to make this for like aluminum? What would I do? Come on, give me this to the side here. I'm gonna copy this here. I'll call this aluminum to make it look more like aluminum. Decrease, okay. Let's try 0.8. Over here, it just takes more time. Yeah, let's try that. So, and let's apply it to this. So aluminum is kind of more rough, right? It won't be as glossy. So let's try to make, and then we'll take a break. and then you guys can try it. All right, so here, of course, you know, you can make it but we get like not really. We can maybe with more the environment. So in this slide like this, reflection a little bit less, more towards gray, like this. Okay, the next thing, making this preview, I can make it once materials like this. Preview too big, right? Like this size, right? This one here, right? This, it has no. Once you deal glossy, make this thing rough, too big, it will crash your computer. Preview this many times, so too big. The here with the 0.7, and I think that's pretty. All right, so different type of material. Make a chrome sphere green. That's that. Here. All right, let's to the side here. Again. Okay, let's make a new copy of one here. Chrome, we're gonna call it, you know, this chrome here, kind of white, this black but reflective, pink, and this reflecting all light. We want to make this thing be some element on the diffuse effect. We on the reflect, so they'll have no mean model. But right now we're black to white. Let's say that you can go and move the scale of, you know, blue. So let's make it right now we can render because we are the color of the light, not the actual base. I forgot to apply. And you can get a slight preview. So again, this should be fun for you. Different things, right? And you know, try different color chromes, different aluminum, right? You know, anything to me, right? Renderings that create all the different levels of the material. Again, now we have a chrome, right? It can really any color you got for this material. All right. What else can we create? Yes, what I was gonna say, to a sphere. Yeah. So let's make a. I'm gonna just copy this again. Copy. Let's do another layer over here. The original one here. Over here. So to this chrome plus bump, we can add something. Let's to bump. Here noise, right? Let's do one that we already bitmap. Let's see here. All right, so that's something that we could be used as a bump black and white, right? It looks like a type like this, right? And let's see how that here. I didn't have. It's very slow. Okay. Okay, thing here to actually look at. One thing that you guys, my camera's here. One second. Okay, so where's my sphere here? Here, this one here. I'm going to this sphere, and I'm gonna the geometry. It now has right. So you know where there's right, because it's all the same. Once you put a pattern, then you might want smaller, right? And the problem here is we really cannot judge it bigger. So, but we have to just material main one, so we can see here under diffuse, right here, right, and simply just. But if to here, right, and I go and now here show this my viewport, right. I can see the now I can make it bigger. I can do whatever I want to. I can even make it here to get smaller, right? Right. To render this black and white, when I go here to and isolate here, there's my material, and is just the bump. So we can see this. Make sense? Yes. One of just kind of one in chromes, try different red, purple, different level with different bumps. You guys with these, and if technique can we do here? Now we know diffuse here. This area controls. Fresnel is turn Fresnel on. So a little review. So when Fresnel is for things that are metallic, when it's on, but you want to maintain the right, whether it's your black paint, right? Keep that in mind, right? Controls here, they make a significant to use them, right? So for these controls here, following that's another detail, right? Point just yet. All right, color, right? So to be green. Or reflection, yes. So this one here, the max depth. Default setting is the higher you go, more precise it's going to be, right? Again, these things are abstract, so it makes no difference to make it, but you can make it, a slide more, those things. Let's see, let's find those ones. Yeah, also to the bump, right? You can try other ones. So I'm gonna turn it off. Let's go back here. That hexagon can do a checker pattern. Like this, good. We can do noise, do smoke. Then we do waves here. Starts to create this effect here. And the waves are a little bit on the large scale, right? But let's quick region of. You can kind of see, not in case if you don't see it, if you apply one of the buttons from the list. Look, you go inside the one called wave, and you get a second called wave parameters. Right? So you see here, number, wave amplitude, control the size of the. You can play with these settings here, or depend get with. Right. What do I expect? And 5 because we haven't so I want to have should be mapped right of rows right controls glossiness semi-gloss right one is right from chrome to aluminum just try then one controls maybe color in metallics right could be bumps right fully mapped document the materials from to chrome to metal 3 levels shots as you want just those details right add those in the next sort of run in bright space for today's date there whatever you did over break right for bright space for the next. Make sure you put everything there. I started to put grades there. What's missing right grades right did it or you didn't do it right so grades so it's a shame to work right